Liverpool wrap up, I guess. Basically, I usually do like well, I have been doing like a LFC podcast, as you guys know who subscribe, called Liverpool Story. But I've noticed that there's a hell of a lot more people that watch and consume live as opposed to the normal rubbish that I put on, or quality stuff that I put online. So, yeah, basically, I'm going to start doing it live around this time, for the at least for the next few weeks. It may have to change around sort of November time for personal reasons, but I'll let you guys know about that. Sorry, I'm like 2 minutes late. Um, it was a really, really good idea that I had, because I usually have notes on stacks of paper that I can barely read about topics that I want to discuss. And my missus said to me, "Why don't you put it on your computer? Then you've got it right next to you." And I thought, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Cool, nice one, love." So I did that, and just when I was about to go live, I went to click the computer on, and the battery basically, well, the computer battery had run out. So hence me having to run downstairs, get the battery charger, and then get this up here basically. So yes, that's why I'm late, slightly late. So I do apologise about that. Right, so basically the reason I'm doing this today is because, and obviously this will be on YouTube podcasts and as a YouTube video. So don't worry if you don't see it live; it'll be on like in the next day or so, whenever YouTube can actually upload it. The reason why I'm doing this today is because I hate the international break. And when I say I hate the international break, I mean I truly, utterly despise the international break beyond words. Um, I don't sort of mind the November-ish one, because then after you're like, well, you've got like nearly 4.5 months worth of football, and you're like, well, that's fair enough. I can cope with that. The October one's annoying, but you know that there's only one more break after that, and that one's okay. That's fine. The April one again, you like really, really stressed at that point, and you're like, do you know what I could do with a couple of weeks before everything goes completely mental with, I don't know, Champions League semi-finals, FA Cups, and blah 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 blah. The September one, honestly, I think I would rather have an emergency vasectomy than go through the September international break. It is just garbage beyond words. I don't want to specifically have a go at England or anything like that. I mean, obviously, being a Liverpool fan, I'm 50-50-ish with it, not as much as a lot of Scousers are. But I might get behind them a little bit. I mean, look, my national team's Ghana, so we've got a massive World Cup qualifier this evening, where basically if we win, we're not qualified, but we're basically through to the World Cup next year. So I care more about that. But I mean, I happen to have the misfortune of seeing the England match the other day with my brother, the first half, and I mean, I've never seen anything like it. The second half is one of the most appalling games of football that I've ever had the misfortune of watching, basically. So, hence the reason I'm doing this now is to talk about Liverpool and basically forget all about the international week, forget it exists, and look forward to Premier League coming back, and like the Reds coming back against Burnley on Sunday. So yeah, I've got a load of stuff that I want to talk about. But yeah, let me just have a look. Parker the Goat. Hi Parker, you alright, mate? How you doing? Have you seen games from D? I haven't. Right, no, sorry, I'm not sure what. Have I seen the games from? No, I'm not sure what that means. Right, to be honest, sorry. Hi Johnny, you alright, mate? Yeah, yeah, dear happy, yeah. Well, I am happy at the moment, mate, actually, because I have the house to myself, which is awesome, so I can talk about Liverpool. So, yeah, hi Parker again, you alright? So, I just wanted to recap. I'll get back to the comments in a minute. I just wanted to recap what's actually happened during the international break. So, obviously, we had the transfer window. Obviously, we've got Alexander the Great. See what I did there? Yeah, 125, 130 million, whatever it's purported to be. Obviously, look, I'm delighted like everyone else. there's always and this is the wonderful world of stress and anxiety and panic attacks. There's always the thing in the back of your mind where you're like, oh, 130 million quid, what if it doesn't work out? It's going to be a disaster. And then you kind of think rationally, usually after you've had your tablets, and basically think to yourself, well, it's not my money. So if it's a disaster, that's Liverpool's fault. There you go. So, do I think the Isak thing will be a disaster? I think it is incredibly unlikely to be a disaster. The same thing as Verts. That's one thing. I'm going to go a bit all over the place with this, by the way. So just bear with me. It's the same sort of thing as Verts. People are saying, "Oh my God, he's terrible and it's a disaster," and blah blah blah. It's like, dude, he's played 3 matches of football. I mean, I don't know what, because I'm an older Liverpool fan and I'm aware that these things often take time, and teams need to be put together and you can't just gel like that all the time. I'm absolutely staggered by this Verts thing. I really am. It's just like, I don't know what people were exactly expecting for him to. I mean, what are we doing here? Was he meant to be scoring hat tricks and have 55 assists by this point? I mean, like, to be honest, the games I've seen, I thought Bournemouth he played very well. Not nothing fantastic, but I thought he certainly performed well. He passed the ball well. Didn't shirk a challenge. What was our second game? The Newcastle one. Newcastle one I missed because I was travelling at the time. Um, so I can't comment on how well they did there. The Arsenal, I mean, I saw the second half with my son because again I was out filming and doing stuff. I mean, he certainly wasn't the worst player on the pitch. I mean, that was always going to be a tight game. And then people are now throwing in, oh, Germany have lost. Blah, blah, blah. And for the just for the life of me, a bit of a tangent. I do apologise, but I do not understand where this is coming from. I suspect it's a lot of Twitter fans and Oppo fans and opportunistic Liverpool fans who are trying to get themselves over, to use wrestling parlance. So the Verts thing, I'm not even paying attention to. For me, Verts, if he's struggling by, I know this is a bit of a stupid thing to say, but if he's struggling by January, then it's conversation to be had. But Florian Verts is at this football club for the next 5 years. He's not here for the next 3 weeks. So yeah, I'm just going to ignore that. Yeah, so going back to the transfer window, obviously we've got Alexander Isak, fantastic. Obviously the thing happened with Mark Gay. And I said this on my last live stream, which was a week ago for Liverpool, I think. Um, Blame's a strong word. I can't blame Liverpool for not getting it over the line after the transfer window they've just given us, because that would be extremely beyond ungrateful, frankly. Not that we should be grateful for Liverpool signing players, because that's what we're paying the money for, but I mean, that transfer window is the best Liverpool have ever done. I've been supporting the club since 1990. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, obviously, you had that one. It wasn't a transfer window, but obviously, you had the amazing one with Sturridge and Coutinho in the middle of January. It really helped us. You had the over 2 windows, you had Van Dijk and Ali within the space of what, 4 or 5 months, because the transfer window, the way it happened, but never a transfer window like that. I mean, it was absolutely sensational. But as much as I'm going to praise Liverpool, it was amazing, and it's only a slight critique. The Gay thing for me, like I said on the previous live stream, if I was Liverpool, and look, at the end of the day, they've tried the best, and it's not for me to criticise them, but I would have been maybe asking a day and a half before for to Palace to just say, look, final decision, can he go or can he not? And if they said, oh, we still don't know, if I was Liverpool, I immediately would have just gone to, right, who's next on the list? Sack that one off, and we'll get Gay in the summer, which it's, from what I'm reading, is likely to be the case. It doesn't look like he's going to be going in January, probably because he's worried about the World Cup place. And then I suppose the good thing is by that point we'll know if Canate staying or going. And then technically, strictly speaking, if, say for example, if we got Gay in June next year, for example, and Canate goes, obviously we'd all be annoyed if Canate goes, but I suppose if you think about it, we're replacing 3 with 3. So that hit wouldn't be too bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would rather Canate stay because obviously we do need to think about future proofing with Virgil. I think Virgil will play. I not maybe not Phil, but I think he'll play till he's 40, 42. I have no worries about his fitness, his form whatsoever. I don't think he will leave Liverpool. I think he'll sign another contract personally, because obviously he's 34 now, so 2 years takes him into 36. I can see them signing maybe a 1 year extension, and then Verge maybe. I can't see him being one of those that goes to Saudi, but I could definitely see him going to Holland, maybe to go back home. I don't know, or maybe Syria, which is slightly less pacier. But yeah, the Gay thing, it's not so much of a disaster now because obviously we've got Leone. However, the that I do have, as I say, is with Ibu being in. Well, we don't know if he's injured or not, and Gomez is now fit. But for example, this weekend at Burnley, if Canate hasn't returned, which we don't know because Arna's not done his press conference yet, obviously, but if he's not returned, you're talking Van Dijk or a half-fit Joe Gomez or an 18-year-old Giovanni Leone, or maybe a Wataru Ender. Now, to be honest, as stupid as this sounds, I'll get onto the Burnley match in a minute, but if Canate was not available, I'd be torn, to be quite frankly, between Wataru Endo and Joe Gomez. Can Joe go full 90 minutes against Burnley? Because you know what Burnley are going to do, and that's no disrespect to Burnley. They can play whatever football they want. But can Joe go full, excuse me again, 90 minutes against that sort of attack? Honestly, I don't know. I really do not know. So, yeah, like I said, the international break, the transfer window obviously was amazing. I'm just getting back my notes, which I've just lost. There we go. I was actually thinking, because I thought I'd do work on behalf of Liverpool Football Club, despite the fact they haven't asked me to. I was actually thinking the emergency loan sort of market, and I thought to myself, right, who could we get possibly on an emergency loan? So I literally, again, panic, stress, and anxiety attacks, they are wonderful. I just thought to myself, right, I'll have a look on whatever it is, the FIFA thing that all the young people use, because it gives the free transfer list. And I had a look, and the only ones that I could come up with were 35-year-old out of contract Craig Dawson, 36-year-old out of contract Daniel Amate from Leicester City fame, and I won't go into any further details than this, I'll just say the cat kicker. Yes, that one, you know who I'm on about. I believe he's now gone to Saudi anyway, I've got no idea, but I'm just like, well, we can't have that. I mean, can you imagine the banners on the Cobb? If that were to take place, I don't know, but literally in terms of centre-backs for emergency loans, those are the best three I could come up with, so there really isn't a great deal of points. So it's just a case of Liverpool, look, they've got to last until January. And if you actually think about it, by the time the football comes back and you take off 2 lots of international breaks, you're talking Liverpool, it's not, oh my God, it's 4 months. It's actually close to 2.5 months and maybe 16-ish games, maybe 17, I don't know. And obviously you've also got Ryan Gravenberch as well. So can Liverpool last? I mean, they have no choice, they'll have to last. And if all those players go out, obviously they'd have to have Ahmed Nalo and Ryan Gravenberch. It's as simple as that. So if that's what they have to do, then that is what they have to do. There we go. Let me have a look. Hi Parker, you're all right. I think Ekatike should start versus Burnley. Hey, Isak could definitely start as well. They'll come off the bench, in my opinion. Yeah, I'll get onto that in a minute, Johnny. Yeah, I was debating that myself, actually, what the best thing is to do. But Vert's played really well against Arsenal. He had 2 free shots and created 3 or 4 chances for Salah and Gakpo. They'd had a good touch. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Rival fans Jealous that they haven't got him, mate. That's what I suspect it is. Hi Parker again. Hi Parker again. How you doing, mate? Um, in my opinion, Gomez is better than Gay right now. He's a two-time Premier winner who, if Carlisle stays fit, won't even play anyway. So Gay won't be till the end of the world. Yeah, agreed. And Zuma is in. Is he? Oh right, okay, fair enough. Um, yeah. Well, that just says it all, really. I mean, if Kurt Zuma has his sights set on Romania, I would politely suggest that he is not really the one for Liverpool Football Club. But there we go. But yeah, transfer window wise, that was basically the whole week. Then we went into the international break. Like I said, if you guys know, and like I said, you can put comments on after the live or whatever about what's going on in the international break. Then please feel free to fill your boots, as Mate would say, because I haven't kept in touch with it whatsoever. I saw something flash up about Gakpo and who was it? Gakpo and was it Isak the other day? But I basically just turned it off because I like, as I said at the start of this, I have no interest in the international break unless it is to do with that national team right there, otherwise known as Ghana. Yeah, and I have no interest in it of any kind whatsoever, to be honest. So, if you know what happened, then great. But yeah, I do not care. Oh my god, mate, that would be brilliant. Do you know what? I prefer Daniel Agger actually if he was available. Because I've seen both play for the Legends match. Because me, I'm going to go off on the tangent again, by the way. Me lads have been to the last two Legends games. So the one against Chelsea and Ajax, the previous year, and it was Sven's last ever football match, obviously before he passed. And yeah, they both look really good actually. I mean, Skirtle, like, I think he I think he played most of the game. I don't know if he was in the last Legends match. I'm not too sure, but he definitely played against Ajax, and he looked like he'd been still playing, to be honest. So, um, yeah, you never know. I mean, if Arna was offered that choice, I can't imagine Arna would be hugely impressed. But there we go. But yeah, no. In terms of Burnley, as the locals would say, right. Basically, I've been thinking about a team, and what I've come up with is the following, if you just bear with me a second. So, Alison Becker obviously goes without saying. I've actually gone for Andy Robbo. Um, Nothing to do with Kirkes because he was sensational against Arsenal, by the way. I could see this being a very British game, is the politest thing I could say, and I just think perhaps Robbo might be more appropriate. Also, as well, to protect Kirkes, which I'll get onto in a minute, because obviously we have a slight issue with fixtures coming up. Virgil, obviously, Ibu if fit. If not, Joe Gomez. I would. Leo. Don't get me wrong. Leone looks like a unit, and he does look like he can handle himself. I'm not sure about throwing an 18-year-old lad in for his first game at Turf Moor, so that's a no for me. If Frimpong and Bradinho aren't available, carry on with Sobbo because obviously he was sensational. McAllister, Gravenberch, and I'd actually go for in the middle if you can't have Sobbo there. I'm toying with the idea of Curtis Jones again because it's a bit more of a British game than we're normally going to have. And then I've gone up front with Hugo Ekitike, Mo Salah, and now my final choice is, and this is a bit random, I've gone either Alexander Isak throwing him straight in, which I'm aware is hugely irresponsible because he's not even trained with the lads yet, and none of the people will be actually back training at the bare minimum until Thursday. So I'd either go with Alexander Isak or Florian Wirtz, and whoever it is, I would just bring the other one on if we need to bring them on. I mean, hopefully after 68, 69 minutes, we're maybe 2 or 3 up against Burnley, but Liverpool don't seem to do that anymore. Like, I mean, I know I think we beat Bournemouth last year, we were 3-0 up at half time, but even that was really stressful. If Liverpool win, basically, it's by 1 or 2-1 or some last minute goal. So I suspect that's going to be the thing the entire season, to be quite honest. Um, I actually think the Burnley match is very, very tricky. To be honest, as stupid as this sounds, I would have preferred something like going to Villa Park straight after the international break, because then you're like, well, obviously I wouldn't be pleased if Liverpool lost to Aston Villa. However, at least it's like, well, Villa at home, away from home is difficult kind of thing, whereas Burnley, people are just turning on going, well, Liverpool should be 4-0 up by half time, which is not going to be the case. I think this is a really, really dangerous match. So one of the things I put in my notes is no messing about from the boys. This needs to be treated as all games need to be treated like a cup final. They need to treat Burnley in the same way that they treated Arsenal. I think we'll win. I wouldn't be astonished if it ended up being a draw where we just can't break through their lines. Hopefully, I'm completely wrong. I suspect Liverpool will win, but I just don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be easy at all, as people have been predicted. Because people are like, now we've got the trouble is now we've got the momentum with the 3 wins. People are like, oh, well, if we beat Burnley, that's 12 points, and then if we beat the Ev, that's 15, and then blah 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 blah, and then we can get on to 18. Then we can stretch our lead to 12 points, and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Guys, like seriously, it's just gone September, like not April, May, September. It's like 4 or 5 months we have to worry about this sort of thing. And I get nowadays that obviously championships can be won and lost in the first couple of months, but because we've made the start we have, and Arsenal and Man City have picked up losses, and I just don't think Chelsea are consistent enough. Even if we were to lose a couple of matches in the next 10, it's not a disaster by any stretch. I mean, don't get me wrong, if Liverpool could win like the next 20 games, that would be absolutely wonderful, but I don't see that happening this year. So, do I think we should throw Alexander Isak straight into the match? I mean, I'd prefer for him to have a couple of training sessions, if I'm being honest. So I would probably go with Verts or maybe Gakpo, and then you can move Ekatike to the other wing. So at the same time, you kind of think to yourself, training sessions, the lad's a striker. If you're old school like me, it's like, well, it's like, Alex, you know what you used to do for Newcastle? Yeah. So basically, do what you did for Newcastle, but for us. The end. There you go. But obviously, I know it's a lot more complicated than that, and he needs to get used to people's movement. I mean, the really interesting is, I'll be fascinated to see how he works with Mo Salah, because obviously Mo Salah is the man, and Mo Salah will continue to be the man. But Alexander Isak is now one of the most expensive footballers in the world, who is being supplied by one of the most expensive footballers in the world. And those two, the next 5 years, when Mo leaves and Verge leaves, are going to be basically maybe the captains or vice of Liverpool Football Club. Who knows long term? But yeah, I'll be very interested to see how that. So that's my only slight concern is, in terms of the training sessions, I don't think Isak needs. Look, he's not going to need months and months and months to get up to speed by any stretch, because he's a goal machine. But I think when people say training, it's probably more along the lines of he needs to get used to Mo Salah, and also as well what this means for Ekatike. I don't know. I mean, obviously Gakpo's just signed a 5-year deal as well. I mean, Chiesa couldn't even get into the Champions League. An Italian international, Federico Chiesa, cannot get into our Champions League squad. I mean, that is. I feel a bit sorry for Chiesa, obviously, but that is also insanely mental. Rio Ngamoa now is going to be lucky to play. I think if he plays 15 games this season, including substitutes, I think he's doing very well. But at the same time, he needs to play as well. So yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, which brings us. He looks at his notes again. To 6 matches in 16 days. So for everyone worrying about going, oh, Federico will want to leave, Rio will want to leave, maybe Ekatike will realise he's made a mistake, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. 6 matches in 16 days quashes that theory. Because we've got Burnley, then we've got, I'll try to see if I can do it off the top of my head, Atletico in midweek, Everton 12:30. Not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. Southampton in the League Cup at home, which I'll tell you a hilarious story about that in a minute. By the way, uh, it I kind of laugh about it now. It wasn't hilarious at the time. Crystal Palace and then Galatasaray, and then they go to the international break. Something along those lines. So, in terms of squad rotation, obviously this is going to be the start of it now. So, I've basically put, and not on a slot knows slightly more about me than football. But I would go as near enough full strength against Burnley as possible, and I would maybe make the rotation changes in the Champions League. The reason being, before everyone goes, "Oh, it's the Champions League," blah, blah, blah. It's like, guys, look, have you seen who we've drawn? And that's not me being arrogant. Don't get me wrong; it will still be difficult to get through and everything. However, Liverpool won the Champions League last year, as in terms of the actual wretched group thing, and we were rewarded with Paris Saint Germain. So I am well over that now. It's like, look, we could end up finishing 12th in the entire massive group and get Sporting Lisbon, for example. We just don't know. It's luck of the draw at the end of the day. So I would make the changes personally against Galatasaray, and I'd make the changes against Southampton Atletico. So, for example, if Ekitike plays this weekend, I would start Isak and vice versa. If Frimpong and Bradley are fit, I would take Sobo out and give him a rest. Galatasaray, you could maybe have Mamadashvili taken over from Alison Becker and so on and so forth. But I'd make the changes there, and I would play full strengths against Everton, Crystal Palace, and obviously Burnley, because to contradict my earlier point, if we can nail those if we can nail that, then you're talking that's 18 points basically. So let me just have a look. Kirk Ayers is soldiered by Andy Robson as Captain America. Yeah, yes, mate, absolutely. Yeah, Johnny, no, I agree. No, to be honest, mate, about the Chiesa thing before I go on, I am. I am a little bit disappointed. Look, it's not something to be angry with Arne Slot about. Having heard the kind of explanation from Liverpool journalists in respect of how did they put it? That we could only have a certain quota of internationals and homegrowns and so on and so forth. I get it, and from what I'm given to understand, I don't know who it was. It might have been Martin Steele or Joyce. I don't know, but apparently he did discuss this with Chiesa in the summer before they decided to retain him. So it's not like he's just thrown this at Chiesa. From what I understand, and again, I don't know this to be fact, but from what I've read, Chiesa was basically asked about this at the end of the season. So presumably he's happy and he's been given guaranteed. I mean, I kind of get it in respect of if Chiesa, just looking at that list for example, if Chiesa can play the whole game against Southampton, 30 minutes against Everton, and say 20 minutes against Crystal Palace, and that's not looking really high. That's not looking. It's not ambition through the ceiling, but the fact of the matter is that'll be better than what Chiesa managed in 4 or 5 months last year. I'm just wondering whether Arna is like, do you know what? We might have something with him, so I don't want to overload this lad. We've got Ingamoa. Bloody sunlight. Sorry about the sun, by the way. I've tried to like go all over the house, and this is the least sunniest bit I can find, which is really annoying. Yeah, so maybe they've had a word, and Arna's gone to Chiesa. Look, Federico, I want you playing this, and this. You're my League Cup guy. You're going to be my FA Cup guy. You're going to play, I don't know, 20 games, 10 starts, and 10 subs this season. Hopefully that's enough to get you in the World Cup squad. If maybe that's the conversation that's been had, I don't know. I've got absolutely no idea. But yeah, I do feel a bit for Fede because, to be honest, actually, sorry, I've gone on a massive tangent here. I don't know what you guys think. I think he's been really good this season. I mean, obviously, when he came on against Bournemouth, he gets the goal. From the brief highlights that I saw, I thought he played perfectly well against Newcastle. I actually thought against the Arsenal, low key, I thought he was actually really, really good. I wouldn't say he changed the game or anything, but if you look at the free kick, like he's not the one that's like moving the wall around and everything, but he is darting in and around in there, so he has kind of impacted the Sobo free kick as well. And I certainly thought he got a couple of shots away. I thought he held the ball up well. So look, and also don't forget as well, perhaps there's another agreement between Arna and Fedi whereby Arna's just like, right, prove to me that you can be fit and available for the next 3 months. If you do, and Rio hasn't scored any goals or made any appearances, you are then going to be put into the Champions League squad for the next phase, should Liverpool qualify, which one would hope they would qualify for. But maybe that's it, Matt. I don't know. But yeah, to your point, I do feel a bit sorry for him as well, because I think he started the season very well. Hi, Random Vids. How you doing? You alright, mate? I am a Liverpool fan, absolutely. Chiesa always gets done over, unfortunately. Yeah, but I know. Yeah, like I was just saying. Personally, I would have preferred Chiesa over Ingamoa for me. However, with the squad quota, because like I said, I think it's based on the number of non-English players. I don't know how many you get. I think it's like eight or nine or something like that in the squad, maybe 10, whatever it is. The only thing is, who would you take out? I mean, I suppose you could have swapped Freddie Woodman in for Mamadashvili, but then you've got a giant problem with Mamadashvili, because he's just like, look, you've just spent nearly 40 million quid on me. Why am I being replaced by some rando who was playing for Preston about a year ago? I don't know who else. I'm not sure who else you could have taken out, to be honest. If you take out Leo, yeah, if you take out, yeah, but he, I know, Johnny, he's homegrown. I don't think the homegrown thing's the issue. I think it's the number of internationals. At least I think it is. I'm not totally sure, but I'll have a look into that actually. But yeah, yeah, I think Chiesa's very unlucky. Like I said, I think he's been superb. But yeah, I would take Chiesa definitely in the next 6 matches has to start against Southampton, and personally for me, I would also start him against Galatasaray. Reason being, again, well, I'll go through all of them actually. So Burnley, full strength for me. Like I said, Atletico, 2 changes maximum. Everton, definitely full strength. You one change, maybe you bring in a Curtis Jones because it's the derby, although after what Curtis did last year, maybe that's not the best of ideas actually. Southampton, I would change the entire team. Personally, it's not me being disrespectful to Southampton, because Southampton will not be playing their first choice 11. I will tell you that now, because they will want to get they'll want to get promoted to the Premier League, and they've made kind of an in and out of start from what I'm given to understand. But the point is now with our squad, and this is insane, so I actually wrote this down. So I'll go for it on top of my head. Liverpool's reserve team, this is a reserve team, for Southampton, is potentially Mamadashvili, Leone, Gomez. Your fullbacks, you've potentially got Connor Bradley. You've got, if he's coming back from fitness, Frimpong could use it as a re-fitness gaining match. Then you've got Wataru Endo, Curtis Jones. You maybe have, I don't know, Trainione as well. And then up front, I mean, this is completely insane. Hugo Ekitike, Cody Gakpo, and Federico Chiesa. I mean, that is just completely. I don't get me wrong; it's fantastic, ridiculous, but I mean that is ridiculous. I mean that is literally our best ever reserve team, without a shadow of a doubt. I can't think of a time that we've had that much squad. The only time I can think we've had this much squad depth, randomly enough, was maybe during the Rafa era, but Rafa didn't really rotate that much. But I mean, some of the players we had and were missing out was insane. So yeah, yeah, no, it's fun. It's basically it's fantastic from the Reds. So I would, yeah, like I said, I would change the entire team against Southampton. Crystal Palace obviously is full strength. Crystal Palace also is going to be very interesting because of a certain central defender is going to be coming up against us. And like I said, the only reason I would heavily rotate against Galatasaray, it's a long way. I know that's really, really stupid. So, I mean, look, Turkey's, it's not the end of the earth, obviously, but you can get there in like whatever it is, like 4 or 5 hours, but it's still. I think the Galatasaray match leads into the Palace match, so do you need to be taking your entire squad to Galatasaray? Not in my opinion, personally. Obviously, I know it'll be a hard match at their place, but I would keep. Put it this way, I would maybe let Ali and Verge stay at home and maybe take the rest, mate, and like I don't know, rest Alexis McAllister. If you leave those three at home, just for an example, their replacements are going to be Mamadashvili, Ibu Kanate, and who else did I just say? Alexis McAllister. Yeah, and his replacement could. I mean, randomly at the moment, it could end up being Dominic Sloboslai or Florian Wirtz. So that's absolutely fine. Do I think Arnold will leave the entire squad at home? No, absolutely not for a Champions League qualifier. I think he will want that done and dusted as quickly as possible. But the only thing I would say is towards the end of our draw that we've got, look, I mean, if the Reds are struggling to qualify with a game to go, our last match is Karabag at home, is the only thing I would say. So we've got that in the locker. I mean, we've got PSV at home, I believe it is, Marseille away, Eintracht Frankfurt away, and someone else at home that we should. But I forget exactly what the draw is. The point is, look, I mean, I've just named 4 matches there where I would expect Liverpool to get 10 points, and you get another win. I mean, basically 13 points, you're more or less qualified. And like I said, after the Paris Saint-Germain debacle last year, do I want Liverpool to lose 4 Champions League matches? Of course I don't. But at the same time, if that's the reward you're going to get, I mean, if Liverpool won the group stages again this year, it wouldn't surprise me at all, if it's like, congratulations, here's Barcelona, and you're like, oh, great, fantastic. So Real Madrid as well, obviously, which will be hilarious for certain reasons. Trent, excuse me. So yeah, that's what I would do anyway, but I'm not Liverpool's manager, so we'll have to wait and see. Let's have a look. Have you seen watching Peacemaker? While I look, I haven't, Johnny, actually. The reason being, and as a fellow geek, you'll probably be really annoyed about this, mate, but I've watched the first 6 episodes of Peacemaker season 1 and went off to do some cooking a couple of years ago, and I have not watched it since, basically. So I still need to catch up. I've seen a couple of trailers and promos, unfortunately, which has kind of spoiled it. But yeah, I'm gonna go on my Sky Go at some point and start watching it. But mate, honestly, I've got so much to watch. This is why international break isn't a disaster for me, because I'm just like, right, I've got on my Netflix, I've got WWE, I've got literally 20 films queued up to watch. So obviously I've got Amazon and Disney as well, and countless YouTube documentaries. I've got Chris Van Vliet documentaries to watch, which I still haven't completely seen. I've got Liverpool, you know, the Inside Anfield thing that the club do. I thought to myself, right, what I'll do is I'll keep that, and I'll keep like the Red Men guys videos, Chloe Bloxham's and Paul Mage's and stuff from the Anfield Wrap. I thought, right, I'll have that as my match of the day, and I'll watch that on Saturday night. I ended up watching something complete. In fact, no, I ended up watching SmackDown, which is why I now do a late night SmackDown show, which I'll get onto in a minute. Long story short, I ended up watching 2 films last night, so I haven't actually seen the Liverpool stuff from nearly a month ago. So yeah, Peacemaker, in terms of my list, is probably, in terms of the 200 things I have to watch, probably somewhere in the middle, I would imagine. So yeah, but I will get round to it, mate. Something Random said hi. Hello, Something Random. Great name. How you doing, mate? Right. The next thing I was going to talk about, one of the last things I was going to talk about was, um, and I didn't mention this to the transfer wrap up, but I just wanted to get, uh, not emotional, but oh, actually, speaking of the transfers, a couple of things I didn't mention. Obviously, Jaden Dans has now stayed, and obviously James McConnell's gone to Ajax. And there was another youth player that was linked with a loan who was, come on, Stefan Bacet. Well, as far as I know, actually, I think Bacetic he's not in full squad training, obviously, but he's in light training. So allegedly, he's meant to be available as well in the month. So you never know as well for that Southampton match. Maybe it's a chance for Bacetic to come back, and then he can maybe get some minutes here and there. And then maybe go for a move in January. I don't see Jaden Dans. Like, I actually really like Jaden Dans as well, but asking him now to get into our, I mean, he could make himself the sixth striker, but he's going to be struggling to get into the top five strikers now. So good luck to him. I would like to keep Jaden Dans as well, personally, because tangent again as well, and slight side quest. Obviously, we do have to think that Mo has what 18 months left, 20 months left, whatever it is now, and also he's going to AFCON. So this is the great thing about having Alexander Isak. However, losing Mo Salah, also, pardon my language, is an absolute pain in the arse. Even though I am half African, I understand why he wants to go, because I want Ghana to win the African nations, which we can't do this year because we didn't bloody qualify. Thank you very much for that, Ghana. But yeah, long term, obviously Mo isn't going to be with us now. If Jaden was happy to stay for a couple of years and last on League Cup appearances and maybe have a couple of decent loans, like to a Championship club, like I don't know, like a Preston or Quick QPR or any number of great Championship clubs, maybe you can then bring him back. I don't know, when Mo has basically left Liverpool, which I could see Virgil van Dijk resigning. I don't think Salah will resign personally. I think this might be it for him. Swig of Liverpool water for the working man. Excuse me. Very professional as usual. Don't watch season 2 with your kid. Peacemaker season 2 should be 18. Yeah, no, Johnny. I made the brutal mistake of what did I watch with my son the other day? We put something on that me and the missus did not research very well, and discovered to our horror that there were slightly um, ethically challenged scenes for youngsters to be watching, so very hastily had to turn it off. So yes, no, I will not be showing him Peacemaker. He was actually asking me, I don't know if you've heard of this, Predator Killer of Killers. He really wants to watch that on, it's that new Predator animated one. And he's literally begging and pleading, Daddy, let me watch this. I watch FNAF and Poppy Playtime. It's like, yeah, but we can monitor what you see on that. Like, there's full like slashing of people's throats and people getting their torsos ripped out on Killer of Killers. And like, dude, you are not watching that. I mean, he probably could watch it with what him and his mates done. Um, watch now. Obviously, he's at secondary school now, so I mean, he could now be watching. Well, yeah, to your point, mate. He could be sat at break time now, for all I know, down the road watching The Boys with his mates, for all I know. So, yeah. But no, he will not be watching Peacemaker. But yeah, in terms of the loans, yeah, McConnell went to Ajax. I think that's a fantastic move for James. He seems to be quite popular with Arna as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe took Bacetic's place. Obviously, you've now lost the guy I'm going to talk about in a second. I think Bacetic will probably move on, to be honest. So obviously we're going to have to replenish the ranks. Obviously you've lost Doak as well, so there is room for like the youngsters to come in now. I think Trainee only out of all of them is going to be the one that has the breakthrough. But again, is he displacing Gravenberch, McAllister, Sobersley, Verts, Curtis Jones? I'd probably suggest not. But at the end of the day, Trainee only's just turned 18. He does not need to be playing for Liverpool fully for the next 3 years. So I would suspect he will also go for a loan, maybe next year or in January. maybe, I don't know, for example, if Sunderland stay up, maybe he goes to a Sunderland, plays a full year for them, then comes back. And then if Sunderland did want to buy him, the beauty is with Liverpool Football Club, we can turn around to Sunderland and say, yeah, that's great. We'll have 55 million quid, please, because he's now an England international. I don't know, but you don't get what I mean. Swig of water again, excuse me. It's hard talking for this sort of amount of time, especially when no one's been in the house all day. Yeah. No, the last thing that I really wanted to talk about, guys, like I said as well, this will be on YouTube, podcasts, and also as video. The last thing I wanted to talk about, and I specifically left this till the end, even, was about the other guy who left on transfer deadline day. So I'm not going to get emotional about this, even though he's one of my favourite players. And that's just to say that Harvey Elliott has obviously gone to Aston Villa. Now, I wanted to get my thoughts on this. I've wrote on my Substack. Side quest, and again, cheap plug. I am on Substack and I write about Liverpool. If you want to have a look, that's great. Cool, nice one. I'll be quiet about that now. But yeah, no, I just wanted to, I suppose pay tribute to Harvey, really. I disagree with basically everyone, including Harvey, on the entire football fan base, even though I know he needed to go. I want Harvey Elliott to stay at Liverpool Football Club, and I want him to come back on a buyback clause, and I would like us to use that buyback clause tomorrow, because we've made a dreadful mistake in selling it, basically. But I understand. I completely understand. It is a good move from the club. We've got nearly pocketed about 35, 36 million quid for him. I mean, after the tribunal with Fulham, we've made 26 million, 28, something along them lines. Yes, we've made I mean, basically, if you put it into start terms, Harvey Elliott was injured for the first 2 months of last season. I think he had a brief injury mid-season as well. And I don't know the exact stats, but I would imagine Harvey started maybe 5 or 6 games and maybe came on a sub in 12, 13, possibly got a couple of goals, and I would imagine 2 or 3 assists. Maybe, I'm probably wrong about that, but it's going to be something in that ballpark. And we've just sold this lad for 40 million quid, or something along them lines. It is good business when you look at it on paper, and it's good for Harvey, because I honestly think if he can hit the ground running with the Villa, because personally for me, I think Harvey Elliott's going to be fantastic for Aston Villa. If you look at the way they play, I think he will suit that system very, very well. I can see him doing very well with John McGinn. I could see if they could make a partnership, him and Ollie Watkins doing very well, working off each other as well. I mean, I don't exactly know where they're thinking of playing half, to be honest, unless I don't know if they're going to play in midfield or part of a free up front, maybe, which he wasn't great with us, obviously. Obviously, they've got Yuri Tillemans as well, so it's not. Obviously, I'm not suggesting that Aston Villa are as good as Liverpool, because they aren't, given the start that they've made. But if you look at the drop off in terms of quality when Villa are at their best, yes, Liverpool are better than Aston Villa. Obviously, it goes without saying. It's not like he's going to West Ham with how West Ham are doing at the minute, or it's not like he's dropping to the Championship, or it's not like he's playing for Burnley. This is still a very, very good level of football. He's going to be playing European football as well, Europa League. If Villa win the Europa League, which you would imagine with their squad, they should at least be getting to the semis. Maybe Harvey gets his Champions League back next year. If he does really well, I can see Thomas Tuchel taking him to the World Cup, but he's going to have a sensational season now to break into that. So maybe that's another reason why he's done it. Arne, you can tell, didn't fully trust him, and I see where Arne's coming from. I can totally see where Arne's coming from. Look, Arne Slot is a Premier League winning manager who's just given me the 2 of the best days of my entire life. He's given me the title win. Actually, 3 days, the title lift and the trophy parade, obviously before that. Gentleman who is a word that I cannot repeat online decided to ruin it all for us. Yeah, so Arne Slot's been sensational. So I back Arne all the way to the hilt. I mean, most of the people he's sold, I don't disagree with as such. I mean, I don't disagree with the Kwanzaa sale, but now in retrospect, because we didn't get Mark Gay, that's maybe just as a practicality. That's maybe one that I would reverse and maybe look to load him in January if we didn't get Gay. But look, I'm sure, like I said, Liverpool tried their best to get Gay. So yeah, obviously hindsight's 50-50. Harvey Elliott is a personal one who I wouldn't have got rid of just because, but I understand why we have got rid of him, and it would have been stupid to have let him sit on the bench and let his value deteriorate. Also, it's not fair on the lad because he's a fantastic footballer, and he deserves all the success in the world. So I completely get why he's gone. I'm just sad that he's gone because he was genuinely one of my favourite players. I'm just going to put this out there and feel free to disagree because it's an open channel and this is absolutely fine. Anyone who says that Harvey Elliott was rubbish, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't tell people to change their opinion, so whatever you think is fine. What I will say is I completely disagree with you. 100%. Has Harvey Elliott been the most consistent player to ever play for the football club? No. Has Harvey Elliott played every single match since he came from Fulham? No. Has Harvey Elliott ever been a regular starter for Liverpool? No. Ergo, there's a universe somewhere where we don't buy, for example, Dominic Soboslai, and Jurgen says, do you know what, we're just going to go with Harvey Elliott. And Elliott knocks it out of the park for the whole season. Arne Slot then comes in. Harvey Elliott doesn't have the injury, and he goes, do you know what, I've got an England international there. Sweet. Harvey Elliott plays every single week. Harvey Elliott smashes it this season that's just been and gone, gets into the England team, and Arne Slot thinks, oh, I'm glad to make that decision. You don't know. But yes, I obviously it goes back to, I think Johnny's just made the point actually that I'm about to make. Is Harvey Elliott at the same time as good as Dominic Soboslai, Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, Florian Wirtz? No. Sadly, he's nowhere near. If you're being on it, he's nowhere. He's not even in the same ballpark as those lads, and there is a drop off. Could Harvey make that drop off? Could he? Could he close the gap between them in the next year or so? 2 years? I hope he can do. I really hope he can do. And look, at the end of the day, if Harvey Elliott comes back, just lost my notes again. If Harvey Elliott comes back and scores, there we go. Sorry. If Harvey Elliott comes back and scores like 10 goals against us in his 5-year contract with Villa, look, it's tough luck. Obviously, I don't think he'll ever celebrate against Liverpool. I think he's got far too much respect. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not one of the celebration please people. If someone goes mental against us and scores, providing they're not flicking V's at the Annie Road end or anything like that, I to be honest, I've never really minded that much. To be honest, I think Luis Suarez possibly went a tad overboard, hence why he got very, very much booed in the 4-0 against Barcelona. But yeah, anyway, going back to Harvey Elliott, look, the only thing I wanted to say was, just on record, and I don't think Harvey Elliott will be watching this live stream at all, but if by some chance you are Harvey, you've been absolutely brilliant for this football club. There's no one that's put in anywhere more as much hard work as that lad. He always, whenever he came on, he always tried his best. And I know there's a lot of people that always go back to that Plymouth match, and yes, it was a stupid handball, and what on earth the man thought he was doing, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. However, you cannot base his whole career on the handball against Plymouth because that day the entire squad was shambolic. It was the worst little performance that I've seen in 5 or 6 years. Dreadful. But I look at the Harvey Elliott who changed the game against West Ham in Klopp's last season, changed the game against Luton when we were 1-0 down along with Luis Diaz. I look at the Harvey Elliott who, when we were going through the worst injury crisis in the club's history, potentially basically, along with Diaz again, carried that football club on his back in Klopp's last season. And people, there's a lot of revisionist history around that. But Harvey Elliott was playing nearly every single game, like literally. So when we won the second League Cup against Chelsea, when basically it was the baby squad versus the Chelsea millionaires, as I call that man. Look, he was literally at the end when the referee blew the whistle. If you watch the footage, he literally just collapses to the ground. It was like one of them pratfalls on like a one of them old school comedies back in the day. He just literally went dink and just fell on the floor because he was that knackered. Yeah. Obviously, some of his highlights, I'm just trying to think. Obviously, there was the PSG goal, which was fantastic. My personal favourite Harvey Elliott goal ever for us, and it was kind of a meaningless match because we'd already lost the lead by that point, was the curler against Tottenham in the 4-2. So not this season gone, but the previous season. That goal was absolutely sensational. I absolutely loved it. I loved the match against Cardiff when he came back and scored. Took the ball down and just hit it on the half volley against Cardiff, and then went running along and screamed into the camera. That was cool. Obviously, there was the disaster just down the road from here, just near my house, Ellen Road, where obviously that wasn't Pascal Struijk's fault. It was a genuine accident. Where, I mean, again, this is the problem with Harvey Elliott. If Harvey Elliott, because he played very well those first 2.5 games before he had that broke leg, there is another universe where Harvey Elliott, based in 2022, is Liverpool's starter, and he's a starter for the next 3 years before Slot even comes in. He's a full international with like 20 caps and maybe 20, 30 goals. Is that likely? Possibly not, but at the end of the day, you don't know. It's just the game's about luck at the end of the day. So yeah, I think Harvey's been unlucky. But I also think he's been very good for this football club. And yeah, basically, just on behalf of the channel, my studio, the bedroom. Yeah, no, just on behalf of myself, I just want to say, Harvey, just thank you very much for everything you've done. You're an absolute class act, and yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to say as well. What a lovely, lovely, genuine man, an absolute gentleman of a bloke. He hasn't badmouthed the club. He's behaved himself impeccably. The way he treats and speaks to fans is absolutely brilliant. Obviously, I've seen the videos of Isaac Kearney when he's been speaking to elderly people, calling them sir and madam and stuff, which is so rare these days. Yeah, no, I just think he's just a lovely, lovely human being, and I just wish him all the best. And yes, I am still holding on to the hope that Harvey Elliott in 3 years will return to Liverpool Football Club on the buyback clause. But if he doesn't, then I just wish him all the best, and I hope, apart from when he plays against us, of course, I hope he has a stinker every single time he plays us. But yeah, no, I just wanted to wish him all the best. I think he's been an absolute great player for this football club. He's an absolute gentleman. Yeah, and yeah, just all the best to you, Harvey, and just good luck to you. Oh, right. There we go, folks. That was for saying it's International Week. That went something in an hour, didn't it? Oh yeah, cheers, Johnny. Thank you for that, mate. Oh, let me have a look at the other comments because I've just missed them. Saw them with people. What stands to? Good man. Remember when Leeds beat Anfield? Oh, do I? In fact, I'm just going to tell you. I'll tell you one story about that, and I'll tell you the other story that I've literally just forgotten about, the Southampton game that I was going to say. So, the horrendous Leeds United defeat again, just out of that window over my left shoulder, round the corner for 10 minutes. Yeah, literally, I'm very, very close to it. When we lost, the locals started letting off fireworks. And literally, I'm sure there'll be people from Beeston and the LS11 area who would dispute this. There's literally people running up and down the high streets. And like, I'm gutted because it's just like, well, we've lost a football match because I don't like Liverpool losing football matches. But about an hour later, I was like, well, whatever, fair enough. But literally, there's people running up and down our streets with Leeds United flags, and they're setting off fireworks and all sorts. And there's people there were actually people who went down to the ground. Not loads. I mean, there was a couple of randomers just like celebrating with cans of lager and stuff. And I was just like, I, I get it's Liverpool, but it's like, guys, you've just won 3 points. You haven't won a cup. What are we doing here? You know what I mean? But like, yes, that was, and also my missus is a Leeds United fan, so that was a that was a tough couple of days. Yeah, so if there are any Liverpool players watching this feed, if you do win 2 matches, please could you make sure, for the love of God, it's Leeds United at home and away, because that would make my life so much easier, to be quite honest. But yeah, yeah, and good luck, lads, who will be watching this later, I'm sure, who are at work, and I wish you all the best. And I hope you stay up, but not when we come and play you. Thank you very much. Oh, a lot of water today. Torge, I'm not replying to that, mate. Bloody hell, I don't want my house burnt down low. The only other quick story I was just going to tell you, just to end with, and this just sums up my life basically. So, you remember me mentioning the Southampton game, in the League Cup? So that's on the, oh yes, it's on the 23rd of September. Now you probably know where this is going, knowing how in and out my brain is sometimes, but I thought it was going to be on Wednesday the 24th, because Liverpool, whenever they play in the League Cup, it usually tends to be on the Wednesday for some reason. It always has been. So I got in contact with my brother, and I had a look at this website called Seat Loader, because that's the only way I can ever get tickets to Liverpool, and I can maybe afford to do it once, twice a season at pub, because obviously hospitality, you're paying like 200 quid. And I can't speak for people. I do not have the money to be forking out 200 quid every single time Liverpool play football. So it is a treat, and I can maybe do it 2-3 times at absolute most, but I cannot be dropping 600-700 quid on hospitality tickets. But I had a look at them the other day on the Seat Loader website, which I've used before. Again, YouTube, if you're listening, not an advert, telling a story. There we go. And I had a look, and the tickets were like 100 or 90 quid, which, don't get me wrong, is still a lot of money. But I thought to myself, well, bearing in mind it's hospitality, because basically their hospitality, you get food, you get a drink, you get a cup of coffee, and you get a match program. So I'm adding it all up and then I thought to myself, do you know what, actually for that, that's only an extra 30, 20-ish of what you would have usually have thought to have paid. So I thought to myself, oh, that's not bad. So I got in contact with my brother, and I said, oh, bro, do you want to go to this? And he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. In the meantime, and I'll get to the point of the story in a minute, I also got a separate phone call or a text from my mother, who said, son, would you like to come and see a film? I believe we're going to see The Sound of Music. By the way, if anyone laughs, I actually love The Sound of Music. Yeah, I know I don't like that type of bloke, but honestly, it's a great film. Absolutely love it. I'd watch it now if I had the time. And I said, oh yeah, that'll be a good idea, Mum. Yeah, we'll go and watch that. When is it? And because I was in London at the time, if you remember, filming for AEW and WWE, and there's just been chaos last 2 weeks, she said, I think it's on the 23rd. And I didn't put two and two together, unfortunately. So I just text back, yes, Mum, that's fine. Bit busy at the moment. Buy the tickets. Boom. See you in a bit. Blah, blah, blah. Didn't think anything of it. Brother came over the other week, and I was like, right, let's book these tickets. And he said, hang on, wait a minute. Aren't you going to the cinema with your mum? I was like, what are you on about? That's on the Tuesday. And he said, Leon, they've moved the Southampton game to the Tuesday. And I could have cried, basically. So that's the whole reason I'm telling you the story. So yeah, unfortunately, folks, as I had said the other day, I will not be going to see Liverpool versus Southampton, sadly, because that was the plan. I was going to go and see that because obviously it was slightly cheaper. Christ, let me move this. I'm going to move this slightly just because of the sun. Yeah, that's our little hallway, by the way. And we've got a weird little window there as well. If you listen on a podcast, all that won't make any sense. But yes, basically, long story short, I will not be seeing Southampton versus Liverpool, sadly. So probably the next chance I get to see Liverpool is gonna be if we get a favourable League Cup home tie. If we beat Southampton, which you would imagine the fourth round is going to be, I don't even know when the fourth round is. In fact, let me have a quick look. But yeah, basically, the next chance I'll have to go to Anfield will be the fourth round of the League Cup. Obviously, there's the FA Cup in January, so that'll be the same thing. Let's just have a little look. League Cup, fourth round. If I can get the internet to work. What is the date of the League Cup? Oh, here we go. Cool. Right. So the League Cup, the next one is going to be the 27th of October, which potentially I could go to because I've got a week off then, actually. And then there's the 15th of December. 15th of December obviously would not go down especially well, with it being Christmas and stuff. But yeah, the 27th is a possibility if we get home tight, if we get through. So that's the earliest I can probably now go to a Liverpool game by the looks of it. I'm hoping, again, I can't promise, but I'm going to try and get tickets for Carabag because, again, on that, there's loads of tickets. I think there's that seat pick, whatever it's called. The one I usually use, like I said, is called that seat loader, which Courtney Neary, who's like a massive Liverpool fan influencer. She's really cool, by the way. Just go onto her channel if you get the chance. Way better than mine. But yeah, yeah, she recommended it, and I've been to seat loader, so that was actually really good. But the Carabag match, I think, is a couple of £100. That's potentially an option if I can afford it. If not, it's going to be the FA Cup and then the Legends game, basically, because sadly there are those of us who are not on the Liverpool season ticket waiting list, and the waiting list, apparently, from what I've heard, has now gone into year 15, i.e. there's a 15-year wait for tickets for Liverpool in terms of season tickets. So yeah, that's basically me done for the rest of my life, unless I win the lottery. So yeah, I'll let you guys know if I do end up going. In terms of Liverpool stuff going forward, basically what I've done is I've put, again, really professional, I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah, so what I've done is on my live shows, I've scheduled a boatload of them. Now, I'm going to do live reactions for Burnley, Atletico, Everton, Southampton, Crystal Palace and Galatasaray. Those ones I've put up before the international break. The Burnley one, just as a quick thing, stop joking and deceiving yourself with Isaac, I promise, is going to flop. Let's see. We will see, mate. We will see. He could do it for all I know. He could be the worst player in the world. I very, very much doubt it, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Another swig of water. Yeah, just to let you guys know that basically the Burnley match, I've put it at the moment as a live reaction at 10 o'clock. However, if you read between the lines of this, I'm going to see the match with quite a few of my friends at a venue called the Public House. If Liverpool win, there is a chance that I might. How does one put this? I might not have the favourable conditions to be performing on a live stream at the end of the night, if you follow my meaning, basically. So, if that eventuality does happen, then basically I will be covering the Burnley game the day after. So it'll probably be this time next week. In fact, I might just move it to the Monday just so there's no risk or anything. Atletico on the Wednesday, that should just be after the game, hopefully. So I'm going to time it for when BBC put the highlights on, or just beforehand, and I can sort of watch it at the same time. Everton will be live reaction will be about 5 o'clock. I would have thought. Southampton reaction will be well, because of the Sound of Music debacle. That might end up being the next day. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Crystal Palace should be about half an hour afterwards, and then Galatasaray match will be literally, because I'm not going to go see that one. I'll just be checking out the highlights. There'll be a reaction show to that literally a couple of minutes after the match is finished, basically. Yeah, so cool. Nice one. Wow, 1 hour and 10 minutes. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Oh, the weather's gone now. See, there we go. The wonders of technology. There you go, Diogo. Let's get you on. Yeah, so thanks everyone for watching. Thank you, Johnny, as always. Oh, look, the sun's just come back out. Yeah, no, it's been really cool as per usual. Thank you everyone for watching. Always enjoy interacting with people. Like I said, guys who weren't on the live stream, the video, with this being a longer video, should be uploaded by YouTube by tomorrow morning, I'd imagine. You can just watch it afterwards if you want to. Also, thanks very much for everyone who watched the first, what did I call it? The late SmackDown show, the late SmackDown reaction show, which I'm now doing on a Saturday. Yeah, that was really cool. We've had like, I think it's like 500 views or something like that, and there were loads of people watching at the same time. So yeah, that seemed to go down quite well. So yeah, Saturday nights from now on, I'm going to be covering SmackDown. Those of you who know, subscribe for years, will know that I obviously have a son who gets up at ridiculous o'clock, which means I can't watch SmackDown of a night because it's on in the UK like, I don't know, it doesn't finish till 3 o'clock in the morning, which would leave me an hour's sleep. Hence the late SmackDown show on Saturday, because I know that there'll be no one basically awake in the house other than me at that point. So yeah, going forward from this point on, there'll be a live SmackDown reaction show for those of you who like pro wrestling. Obviously, again, Geek Boy Meta, Comic Cons, horror movies, film reviews, Liverpool FC, football stadium tours, Pride. What else do I do? Oh, pro wrestling as well. So I don't do loads of different stuff. So I'm usually on not far of every single day now on the channel, which has been great the last 4 months. Like I said, on all these videos, just thanks everyone to all the support over the summer. We've literally doubled the viewership in like 3 months from what it was over nearly 3 years, which is insane. Thanks to a lot of these live shows and stuff we've done. So yeah, it's been awesome, and just thanks everyone for yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yes, Johnny. Not getting involved in that. I'll let you two debate that. Yeah, but just in terms of stuff coming up this week, folks. Right. So the next time I'll be on live will be for AEW Dynamite reaction, which should be, provided I can get the house clear, of housemates and random family members, should be around 9 o'clock in the morning, because I should have finished watching Dynamite by 8, hopefully. So yeah, there'll be a live show this coming Thursday. There's the late SmackDown reaction show, which will be on Saturday night. That's usually going to be about 11 o'clock, or slash depending when the missus goes to bed, basically. So I have, like I say, it's not very professional this, but I have to sort of time these things now for when son and missus disappear, basically, as I'm sure a lot of you will be in the same boat as well in terms of doing things that you want to do in life. So yeah, there's that. And oh, in fact, no, I tell a lie. The next time I'll be on, I'll see you guys at 3:30 this morning, because yeah, I will be covering Monday Night Raw live. Quick thing on that, if you're a pro wrestling fan, so I'll be able to do Monday Night Raw live for the next 6 weeks. It may have to go to Tuesday night afterwards due to a change in circumstances, i.e. moving and jobs. I'm not totally sure what's happening with personal circumstances just yet, but I might have to move one or two of these things about. So the Dynamite thing it may be even earlier, or it may be after I finish what I'm potentially going to be doing in 6 weeks. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but for the next 5 6 weeks, it should be sort of a regular thing. But just to let you guys aware, things might change in October, sort of November time. But I don't know myself what's happening yet. So yeah, just bear with us. And oh, also this Wednesday, I have unearthed more footage from WWE Leeds and AEW Forbidden Door from London, which I've got as bonus footage. It is not bonus footage. They were videos that I forgot to upload. So yes, I'm passing it off as a bonus footage night, but I'll be completely honest, I forgot to upload it basically. So that'll be on Wednesday if you want to tune in for that. And yeah, basically that's everything that's happening in the next few days, really. yeah, like I said, the next Liverpool ones I'll be doing will be the Burnley live reaction, and then there'll be the Atletico reaction on Wednesday night, and then there'll be Everton reaction. I can't give you an exact time because I'm not sure about childcare and stuff, but it's probably going to be sort of 5, 6 o'clock at night, basically. But I will let all you guys know in the passing of time. Newcastle, wee little club, wee little league cup with nowhere. Yes, Isak, crap, mate, the guy who got 1+, so the terrible who fought guy, small club. I think you might have done actually, Johnny. Yeah. Yeah. No, I do not agree with Rocco in the slightest. In fact, I'll tell you what. You can clip me if you want. I'm going to go for Alexander Isak to score because he's missed the first month. I'm going to go with 24 goals. That's my prediction. As in overall, because he's lost the first month and he needs to get involved with training and so on and so forth and moving house and yada yada yada. He's not going to be scoring 40 or 50. That you can rule that out straight away. That is not going to happen. I'm going to go with 24. So maybe I don't know, 17 league goals and like 7 cup goals or whatever. Look, at the end of the day, if Alexander, this is the great thing as well before I leave. So if Alexander Isak scores 25, if Mo scores 25, if Gakpo gets 20, if Ekatike gets between 20 and 25, before you even got to Chiesa and Rio Ingamoa and Florian Wirtz and Alexis McAllister and Gravenbergs and Szoboszlai and God knows who else, you're getting on for that's 110 goals, 120 goals already between 4 or 5 people. So, if Alexander Isak only gets 24 goals, that's fine with me. That's absolutely fine. Look, providing at the end of the day, if Alexander Isak plays for Liverpool Football Club and can be getting 20 league goals and about 5, basically, if he gets 25 goals every single one of his 5 seasons, that is more than enough for me. Absolutely fine. I think he may get more than that. Like I said, the one thing that I'm very interested in, just to end is it's not a worry. I'm just very interested because obviously Ekatike can bide his time. He's only just turned 23 and Mo will be leaving in about 18 months potentially. So he doesn't need to worry that much. I'll be very interested to see how Gakpo and not Gakpo. I'll be very interested to see how Mo and Isak adapt to each other and what sort of relationship they're going to be. If those two can hit it off with Florian, I mean, I'd love us one day in a match. I'd love to see Florian Wirtz, Alexander Isak and Mo Salah up front, just those 3, because I think that could be sensational. But then obviously you've got Gakpo and Ekatike to think about as well. But yeah, no, I'd love to see it. I think they'll complement each other well, but obviously we don't know until they play with. I mean, obviously a few years ago, Salah and Mane weren't exactly they wouldn't exactly go out of a pint with each. Well, if they were allowed to drink pints, I don't think they'd be going out for cups of teas with each other, given their relationships, obviously. But yeah, no, I think they'll be fantastic. But like I said, going back to the original thing, Liverpool this weekend need to treat Burnley with respect. They need to go there, dig in, get the 3 points. If it's a scrappy 1-0, don't care, not bothered, just go and get the win. And if you can't, just make sure you do not lose the match, basically. Yeah, wow, cool. Nice one, folks. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Johnny, as well, for all your contributions, mate. You're an absolute star. Yeah, like I said, this will be on YouTube, hopefully, as a video in about a day. Yeah, cool. And like I've just reminded myself, anyone who's interested in pro wrestling, I know Johnny is, I will see you guys literally in, what is it? I'll see you in 13 hours time. And then I will be going to sleep about an hour after that. So yeah, have a great day, everyone. And I'll see you in a few hours. Take care. Up the Reds. Bye-bye.